Hello, welcome to the Peaceful Woodturner. If you've watched my channel at all, you know that I like to experiment and do strange things. So this is a piece of wood. I've cut it into a couple of pieces now that is actually from an old wine rack. It's some kind of lightweight, like a pine type of thing, very soft. And I've been playing around with different finishes on it. So this is just a ebonizing finish using steel wool that's been dissolved in vinegar. So kind of a ferrous sulfate, I think it is. It oxidizes, reacts to the tannins and stuff in the wood and makes this dark color. So this is how that came out. Then I just tried something a little different. I just wiped it with a little bit of wine. I wanted to see what that would do. And it gave it a very mild stain. You can see the difference. You know, very, very mild, but it also gave it a little bit of a purple hue. So I decided I wanted to take that a little further. So I have this delightful Petite Syrah. It's a 2020. It's by Stephen Miller, and it's bold and fruity. I don't know. I have no idea. It's the leftover that the wine drinker in my house had, and I said, hey, you don't have to finish the bottle, and you don't have to worry about leaving that last little bit. Just give it to me. So they did, and I have this little piece that I've cut off. I'm going to put into this mason jar here, and I'm going to waste the rest of the wine. I mean, use the rest of the wine. And I'm going to grab something to see if I can weight that down. I don't know if this is going to be enough weight to actually hold it down. It may or may not, and if it doesn't, then I have another option. But I want to keep this submerged as best I can. And it did. There we go. And now all I'm going to do, I thought about sealing it in, because once I get the vacuum on this will stay sealed really well, but I decided I'm just going to leave it like this so that we can watch and see what happens. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into my vacuum chamber. Let me get that off to the side so we can see it a little bit. There we go. I'm going to hook up my vacuum chamber, and I'm going to suck the air out of here and see if we can get that wood really fully impregnated. Alright, this is going to be pretty loud, so all you're going to hear is the background music because I have to mute everything else. Now we'll just watch. Okay, that stopped bubbling, so I'm going to let the air back in and we'll pull it out, see how it looks, and then we'll let it sit and dry. Everything smells like wine. So when I pull this out and put it on the paper towel, you'll see the purple that it does on a paper towel. Obviously it won't do that on the wood, but that color's kind of neat. So that's well impregnated. You have to let it sit for a while to dry. And then once it gets completely dry, we'll see how it looks on the inside. Alright, there we go. that has been sitting for an extended period of time. I also started weighing it and then warming it up in the microwave a little bit and weighing it again, and it has completely stopped losing weight. I believe it is fully and completely dry all the way through. You can see the color difference. So I'm just going to knock everything over here. Alright, you can see the color difference. That's just with a little bit of the Petit Syrah just rubbed onto the wood. This is with it from the vacuum chamber, and that's the ferrous oxide, ferrous sulfate. So, I want to see what this looks like on the inside. I'm going to split it open. I'm just going to follow the grain lines to begin with. Very little penetration. You see it got in a little bit, but not very much. So that tells me what I need to do in order to get this kind of color. I need to apply it right at the end. I need to go ahead and put it in the vacuum chamber to get it completely saturated. I think I'm going to do something with it though. So I figure I'm going to turn this down and everything else, make a pen, and then I will color it with the wine. So I'm going to start off. I've got the bit for the set in my chuck, and I'm just going to take my speed up to about 1200. I think that should work well with this. Alright, I've got it all set. I'm going to start rounding it down now. I'm going to start off with the spindle gouge, and I'm going to switch pretty quickly to the skew. I'm going to be starting about 1100 RPM and pretty quickly breaking it up. Down to round. I need two pieces that are each 2 1/32. So I'm going to go 2 1/8 because I tend to make mistakes. So I'm going to mark off my first piece. And I can see that I've got plenty left for my second piece. Luckily they're both identical, so I'm going to cut this one off and do the other one, and then I'll get everything mounted up on the spindle. Two pieces, almost identical. Clean them up a little bit. And then I'll glue in tubes. This is my high-tech sanding station. I'm just going to take these down so that the ends are even with the tube on the inside. Sand it down nice and even. Time to get them on the mandrel. Alright, I like that profile. It's a slimline pen. Everything looks like it should line up really well. I have to make sure when I put it together that I get these bits of grain to match up. I don't know if you can see that. It's really light. What I'm going to do now is take it off of here, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in the vacuum chamber and see how much of that wine stain I can get into this. Wine stain. I know a guy named... No, that's different. Okay. I thought I needed a weight on those, but they're staying pretty well sunk. I am going to put a little bit on them though, because I want to make sure they stay sunk. There we go. Draw a vacuum on that. Not bubbling much, that's good. Change this light a little bit. I wonder what I have with this way. There we go. Now you can see a little better. Sorry about that. I don't see much bubbles. We'll let it sit with the vacuum for a bit, and then I'll pull it out and see how they're doing. Alright, that's been in there for some time. So I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, well, that was fun. I think I let the air in a little too fast. Made a bit of a mess. Everything smells like wine. Alright, those took the stain really nicely. Gonna have to let them sit and dry now, so I'll come back to them in a bit. Look at that color. I love that. I did not expect to get that kind of thing, but I'm happy with it. I'm gonna put on a cyanoacrylate finish, you know, lackey glue, whatever you want to call it. I've read a couple things on this. I haven't actually done it as a finish very much, but what I've seen for pens is actually to use a piece of paper to apply it. So I'm going to start by doing that. And just kind of gently put it on and Alright, I'm going to do a few more coats of that, and I'll put it together. Alright, it's dried. It's got a nice bunch of coats on there, so it should be good. What I'm going to do now is just kind of buff it down with a 2000 grit, and then I'm going to use a polish on it. Alright, I've got most of the assembly done. My camera wasn't recording properly, so you don't get to see all of it, unfortunately, because I can't really undo this. But I've been using my bar clamp to put this together. I find it works pretty well. It just puts the pressure on nice and gentle and steady. So we should be good there. It said the instructions say to slide the ring down over the barrel, but it doesn't quite go all the way down, so I'm kind of worried about that. I'm gonna have to figure out why it's not going down and fix that. I wonder if there's just some, no, there's no glue or anything on that. There might be some glue on this. Not finding any. Getting a little crimp right there. There we go. That looks pretty good. I am happy with my first pen. My first successful pen. Stained with wine, a nice Petite Sirah. Sounds all fancy, doesn't it? And this might be a Valentine's gift. Thank you for joining me on The Peaceful Woodturner.